Fellow Zimbabweans, our country is at serious crossroads, bedeviled by many challenges. Mass poverty, misery and unemployment are the order of the day. In the health sector, there is poor health service delivery. Our major hospitals, Parenyatwa, Mpilo, United Bulawayo hospitals, as well as Salim Gabe Hospital, are characterized by poor health service. On the education sector, over 500,000 students have been unable to go to school because their parents cannot afford the exorbitant school fees. There is absolutely no support for students who are engaging in tertiary education. Our country, ladies and gentlemen, is now characterized by a lot of inequality. There is unequal access to opportunity, unequal access to education, unequal access to good health facilities. Adding to that, we have seen the harassment of people who are trying to make an honest living. The vendors are being harassed day in, day out by the city councils in various parts of the country, aided by the Zimbabwe Republic Police. The conditions of service of the Zimbabwean worker are very, very poor. Most Zimbabweans are living below the poverty datum line. Our workers are earning less than a living wage. Most of the workers, in fact 80% of our workers, are employed in the informal sector and have weaker bargaining power. We have seen, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of youth unemployment. Over 35% of our youth are unemployed. As a result, we have seen youth engaging in other acts, including drug abuse. There has been no justice, ladies and gentlemen, for victims of political violence. These include victims of the Gukurahundi violence and the victims of the 2008 election violence, which saw the murder of 300 youngsters from the MDC alone. These people have not received justice. These people have not received compensation. Our country, ladies and gentlemen, is sliding into more and more intolerance. While ZANU-PF right now is busy campaigning and holding its meetings, other political parties are not being allowed to hold their meetings. We have seen ZANU-PF campaign right now for the Ammendment 3, and yet other political actors are being denied. Only last year, ZANU-PF militia attacked a press conference of the MDC in Bulawayo. The police banned the meeting of the civil society organization that wanted to discuss Amendment 3. We have also seen the brutalization of Professor Lovemore Maduku. This signifies that our country is sliding back to the anarchy that characterized this land in 2008. We are going to see more and more violence, especially as we go deeper and deeper into the discussions of the 2030 agenda. Our country is at crossroads. Faced with this, the executive is doing nothing. It is doing completely the wrong things. Those things that it is doing are calculated to simply consolidate its power. The parliament, which is supposed to be the safeguard of the people, is the weakest in living memory, and it is displaying such a last supper mentality. The local government has become sadistic and anti-people. We have seen harassment of vendors, demolition of structures, dwellings of people during the rainy season, and a lot of other ills that they are doing. We are seeing the harassment of Kobe drivers as well as the conductors, commonly known as Mawindi. These are people trying to make an honest living under these circumstances. We are witnessing injustice in agriculture. The tobacco farmers are crying because the prices that are being offered are simply not sustainable. The answer by this government to all this problem. The answer to the social, political, and economic conundrum of Zimbabwe has been Amendment number 3. Through Amendment number 3, the government thinks that it is resolving the Zimbabwean problem. This Amendment number 3 is being driven by the rich and the privileged people, whose richness and privilege cannot be traced. It is not coming from the people of Zimbabwe. It is simply there to protect power and privilege. Some of the highlights in the amendment are the completely removal of the right of the Zimbabwean people to vote for a president of their choice. That power has been subcontracted to Parliament. So this mass disenfranchisement that has happened is against the ideals of the liberation struggle. One of the objectives of the liberation struggle was to achieve one man, one vote, universal suffrage. The people who died for this country in Nyanga, Chimoyo, Dukwe Kempi, Freedom Kempi, and many parts of this country died to achieve one man, one vote, not one parliamentarian, one vote. This amendment again seeks to make the chiefs, the traditional leaders, partial and political and partisan. It is now saying that the traditional leaders can join political parties of their choice. Yet, these traditional leaders perform judicial functions. The very reason why the judges of the High Court and the judges of the Supreme Court cannot be members of the political parties apply to traditional leaders when they discharge their quasi-judicial functions. The duty to defend the Constitution has now been removed from the security sector. Voter registration, which was now placed in the hands of an independent body, have now been put into as a responsibility of the Registrar General. The Registrar General, ladies and gentlemen, is appointed by the President. This was the situation that the people of Zimbabwe fought against in the constitution-making process. They did not want what was happening during the times of Mr. Tobayo Amdede. Similarly, this amendment removes the delimitation functions from an independent body to a delimitation commission that is appointed by the President. In appointing the delimitation commission members, the President does not consult anyone. Despite what the Constitution says, the drafters of the amendment are trying to remove the referendum. In terms of our Constitution, when you are amending the term limits of President, you have to take the matter to the referendum. The people of Zimbabwe who voted yes for this Constitution in 2013 have the right to vote for any changes of this Constitution. But the power to vote for or against the amendment has been removed, or there are attempts to remove it. It is clear from this Constitution that when you change term limits and you do so successfully, the incumbent shall not benefit. But this amendment seeks to make the incumbent benefit, despite the clear provisions of the Constitution that if you want to change, then there must be a referendum. The drafters of this amendment do not want a referendum. They are disenfranchising the people of Zimbabwe on more than two areas. Firstly, they are disenfranchising the people of Zimbabwe in the election of president. They are disenfranchising the people of Zimbabwe by refusing them to vote in a referendum on whether to extend the term limits of president. They are also disenfranchising Zimbabweans in voting on whether or not to allow the incumbent to benefit. Zimbabweans, Ian Smith gave us a referendum during the Pierce Commission in the 70s. Even Robert Mugabe gave us a referendum in 2000 and in 2013. The so-called Second Republic is refusing us a referendum. it has banned the referendum. This is a slide into dictatorship and anarchy. And as the MDC, we call upon the people of Zimbabwe to reject these wanton amendments to the constitution. They have brutalized people. They are threatening people. But we must never be intimidated. No amount of force, no amount of intimidation, no amount of harassment, no amount of threats can defeat an idea whose hour is come. The hour for the defense of our constitution is now. We must get our loins. We must, each one of us, put our shoulders on the block and defend the rights of the people of Zimbabwe. To that end, the people of Zimbabwe call for free education, free health care, interest-free loans for our youngsters who want to start businesses. We want equality and equal access to opportunity. There must be better working conditions for our people. We want to defend the sovereign right of the Zimbabwean person to vote. And we also want to defend the constitution against wanton and reckless amendments. We need to claim once again the freedom of assembly and association that is now being trampled underfoot. The constitution says there must be a referendum. And these people in government are purposefully misunderstanding the constitution. They know the truth. They know that the constitution requires a referendum. And why they don't want the referendum is because they are afraid of you, the people of Zimbabwe. They have not performed as they had promised you. During the elections, they had flowery manifestos and a lot of promises. They have failed to deliver on those promises. They know that the people of Zimbabwe will vote no. But as we always say, rights are not asked, they are not asked for, they are demanded. They are not freely given, they are taken. As the people of Zimbabwe, we shall take our sovereign right to vote for the president of our choice. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we call for the unity of purpose for all progressive forces to fight this dictatorship that is coming, to fight this pestilential dictatorship, to fight this violence that is coming through Boy Zamdara, this militia that is harassing people, that harassed us in Bulawayo, that harassed Professor Maduku, that is harassing people in the townships. That must stop. The people of Zimbabwe are a free people. The people of Zimbabwe, to give them the choice to say no, to give them the choice to refuse what the rulers would say, and more importantly, to give them the choice to defend their constitution. Constitution we shall defend by all means necessary, and the victory is certain. Thank you.